to be up here with you this morning. It's obviously a very fabulous day to be in Flagstaff today. Joining you certainly is the Flagstaff Chamber of Commerce celebrates its 120th anniversary. That certainly is a milepost worth celebrating. I too have a milepost that I think is worth mentioning. For the first time, I come before you as an elected governor. And I should tell you, I've learned the difference between an elected governor and an unelected one. An elected governor with 4 years ahead of me, my phone calls are now being returned. And I thank everybody for that. And another little milestone is that today I found out someone called me on my cell phone and said, congratulations, you now have served 2 years as the governor of Arizona. So I have an anniversary today also. Anyway, I really want to share with you this afternoon some other really important mileposts that I see in the distance. On Tuesday, I announced reclaiming its historic position as a national leader in population and job growth and economic energy over the next 4 years. I intend to devote my last and my best years of public service to ensuring Arizona is at the top of those states with a limited public sector, a restrained regulatory state, and a vibrant private sector. Well, where my basic philosophy remains unchanged, restrain government, restore liberty, and return to the free market principle, I do believe that state government does have a role to play in job creation, and that is to provide a stable, predictable, business-friendly environment in which our employers can grow. We must not wait. We're fresh out of letter. No more excuses why things cannot be done. My plan is built on 4 cornerstones of reform: economic competitiveness, education, state government, and renewed federalism. Working with legislative leadership, we'll be convening a special session of the legislature to enact an aggressive economic package. We will then have the tools to compete with other states for business relocations. The package should consist of 3 parts: a new Arizona Commerce Authority, job-based tax incentives, and tax reforms. States we're competing with have 2 advantages over Arizona. They have dynamic economic development agencies, and they have access to deal closing funds. To compete, Arizona must eliminate that gap. Our new Commerce Authority will be exclusively focused on business attraction, retention, and expansion in Arizona's strongest economic sectors. Business retention and expansion programs are critical because real job growth over time comes from local business expansion. And I am committed to a statewide approach that advances the rural areas in our state. That's why I established a Rural Business Advisory Council, dedicating $2 million through my Economic Development Stimulus Funds for this new rural approach. And a special thanks to Julie Patrick, who's serving on the council. Thank you, Julie. The tax incentive program is outdated and should be replaced with a statewide program of tax incentives that reward companies for creating high-quality jobs. Finally, we need to phase in reforms to our tax structure that will attract businesses from outside of Arizona and encourage business creation and expansion from employers already here. The Constitution should be amended to allow the governor to reduce existing expenditures to balance the budget during a fiscal emergency, and to reduce expenditures through the current line item veto authority. Together, we'll put and keep Arizona on the road to fiscal sanity. Finally, reform of state government should include a rainy day fund established with constitutional safeguards to ensure it is there when needed. We need a rainy day fund that will be there when it is actually raining. This spending fiasco should have never, ever, ever happened again. State operational reforms need to be implemented, including modernization of our state personnel and retirement systems, and reinforcement of Arizona's status as a right-to-work state. Finally, the fourth cornerstone will be pursuit of renewed federalism, one that protects the state of Arizona and its citizens against an overreaching federal government. Never during our nearly 100 years of statehood has federal interference in Arizona's affairs been more blatant. We must demand that the federal government overturn the 2010 healthcare reform and its unconstitutional mandate on states, employers, and citizens. The federal government must take the fiscal handcuffs off Arizona related to its Medicaid program, Access, that prevents us from balancing our budget without raising taxes. These handcuffs were slapped on us again in the Obamacare legislation last year. They're called the Maintenance of Effort provision. In short, the federal government is telling Arizona taxpayers to pick up the tab. Well, here's a newsflash to my friends in Washington. Arizona will not be the tax collector for Uncle Sam's unfunded health care mandates. We simply cannot allow unfunded federal mandates to set our priorities. Arizona and other states must be allowed to establish our own health care coverage. Arizona knows what's best for Arizona. We're fighting Obamacare with 25 other states in the courts, and I am pleased that several more states and our new Attorney General, Tom Horn, are joining our fight. I'm also pleased that in the one-day special session I called Wednesday, the legislature supported the waiver request to the federal government to allow Arizona the flexibility it needs. Let's start the process of freeing Arizona from these federal fiscal handcuffs. Finally, let me be as clear as I can be. I will never sign a budget that cuts money to Arizona school children to fund the federal Medicaid mandates. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. One way to help our local jurisdictions in their own growth and planning process is to free them of the outdated, unnecessary federal requirements. The United States Supreme Court recently said local governments may petition to remove themselves from Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act, the federal pre-clearance process. Over 60 local jurisdictions in other states have done so successfully. Together with Secretary Bennett and local jurisdictions in Arizona, we can reward those who have accomplished the mission of the Voting Rights Act and allow them to finally end the unnecessary, expensive, burdensome federal Justice Department's oversight of Arizona's elections. The federal government must also fulfill its constitutional and statutory duties to secure the border and restore our integrity to our immigration system. Washington has failed to gain operational control of the border as required under the Secure Fence Act of 2006, failed to enforce federal immigration laws as enacted by Congress, and failed to reimburse the state of Arizona for hundreds of millions of dollars in costs incurred in trying, convicting, and incarcerating criminal aliens. The state must pursue all legal remedies to make the federal government live up to those responsibilities and to defend Arizona's right to cooperatively enforce federal immigration laws. We can do no less. I believe, building upon these cornerstones, Arizona will be an irresistible magnet for the business relocations, business formation and growth, capital formation and investment, employment and personal income growth, and prosperity for all Arizona's businesses and citizens. I look forward to celebrating many successes, many more exciting mileposts with you, and will accomplish much in the years ahead, building upon these cornerstones. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but together, I truly believe we can get it done. So may God bless you and your families, the Flagstaff Chamber, our great state of Arizona, and may God always bless and protect the United States of America. Thank you.